भारत का सबसे पहला भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त राज्य बनाना है दोस्तों।
Good evening, welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Shom, and what a day it's been in the national capital. Tens of thousands of people turned up at the Ram Lila Grounds for the swearing in of Arvind Kejriwal and his Aam Aadmi Party government. The big question, as Arvind Kejriwal takes charge, is Delhi expecting too much? Because let's face it, they have been promised the moon. Is it all realistic? But before we get to that, here's a programming note. What's Your Choice will be back next Saturday. What's Your Choice with Pranoy Roy next Saturday, the 21st of February, 9 p.m. Well, here's the big story of the day. Look who's back. Arvind Kejriwal. Will he truly change the face of Delhi? Arvind Kejriwal's moment of triumph. Being sworn in front of tens of thousands of his supporters at the Ram Lila Grounds. Exactly a year ago, he had controversially ended his first stint in power, just 49 days after being sworn in. Today, despite running a fever, Arvind Kejriwal entered the Ram Lila Grounds to be sworn in by Najib Jung, the Delhi Lieutenant Governor, whom he once accused of being a BJP agent. Awaiting him, tens of thousands of his supporters, who'd patiently waited for hours for this moment of glory, the swearing in of the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi after a stunning election win where they won a whopping 67 of 70 seats. Today, Arvind didn't disappoint his supporters, reminding them to be humble in this hour of celebration.
कांग्रेस को लोगों ने क्यों हराया था? क्योंकि कांग्रेस के अंदर अहंकार आ गया। पिछले साल भगवान ने हमें हमारे अहंकार की सजा दी और लोकसभा के अंदर जो हुआ हमें पता चल गया।
He also made it clear that unlike in the past where he chose to go national with the Aam Aadmi Party, his focus would remain Delhi and Delhi alone.
दिल्ली की जनता ने मुझे आदेश दिया है, दिल्ली की जनता ने मुझे प्यार दिया है, दिल्ली की जनता ने मुझ पे विश्वास किया है। मैं 5 साल तक दिल्ली में रहकर केवल और केवल दिल्ली की जनता की सेवा करूंगा।
There was also an effort to reach out to his political opponents. Mr. Kejriwal said Kiran Bedi, the BJP's chief ministerial candidate, was like an elder sister and that he would consult Ajay Maken in policy formation.
किरण बेदी जी को हम साथ लेके और समय-समय पर उनकी गाइडेंस लेके हम काम करेंगे। अजय माकन जी से भी हम लोग समय-समय पर सलाह मशविरा करेंगे।
He also had a message for the media. Don't judge me for the house I live in or the cars I drive. What I can assure you is that Delhi's Lal Batti culture will end. And then there was Arvind's trademark anti-corruption message. The crowds roared in approval.
अब अगर दिल्ली में आपसे कोई रिश्वत मांगे, मना मत करना। सेटिंग कर लेना, जेब में हाथ डालना, अपने मोबाइल फोन को रिकॉर्डिंग पे लगा लेना। जब वो पैसे मांग रहा है, उसकी आवाज रिकॉर्ड कर लेना, मुझे लाके दे देना, हम उसके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई करेंगे।
Now the burden of expectation is squarely on the shoulders of the Aam Aadmi Party. Today, Delhiites have reposed faith on them once again, but delivering on a 70-point election agenda will remain, without a doubt, Arvind Kejriwal's biggest challenge. With Sunetra Chaudhary, Neha Masi and Ketaki Angre, Vishnu Shom for NDTV. But then there was a googly. Arvind Kejriwal will not keep any portfolios himself. He wants to have a larger supervisory role and won't even keep the ministries of power and finance. The man who will virtually run the show, Manish Sisodia.
Arvind Kejriwal and his cabinet taking charge in the Delhi Secretariat, right after they were sworn in at the Ram Lila Grounds. And then came Kejriwal's googly.
Sir, बहुत शुभकामनाएं.
He will not keep any portfolio with him, unlike the last time when major portfolios of power and finance were under him.
मंत्रियों से काम करवाना और मंत्रियों से काम करवाते हुए उनके पूरे कामकाज पर एक डिपार्टमेंट के कामकाज पर पूरी तरह से निगरानी रखना, ये सीएम साहब करेंगे.
Instead, Kejriwal's right-hand man and Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will virtually run the Delhi government, holding the portfolios of finance, planning, education, urban development, revenue and vigilance.
कुछ डिपार्टमेंट्स मुझे देखने के लिए कहा गया है. ये डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं फाइनेंस एंड प्लानिंग, एजुकेशन, यूडी, रेवेन्यू और बाकी कुछ डिपार्टमेंट्स हैं जैसे लैंड एंड बिल्डिंग, विजिलेंस एंड एनी अदर डिपार्टमेंट that is not allocated to any other minister.
The remaining 5 of the Aam Aadmi cabinet make up for what is possibly India's youngest cabinet with an average age of less than 40. Sandeep Kumar will be responsible for women and child and social welfare. Asim Khan, environment, forest, food and civil supplies. Jitendra Tomar will take care of home, law, art and culture. Satyendra Jain will retain health but has been given added responsibility of power, industries, PWD, irrigation and flood control. Gopal Rai, the senior most among them, will have transport, rural development, labour and employment. The Delhi Secretariat saw a comeback of the AAP government, but it's nothing like the last time. It's a clear mandate and they are not in a rush. The biggest googly is that the Chief Minister has relieved himself of any departmental work. But sources indicate that he shall now be working in an expanded CM office with the team of young MLAs, part of his office and play an advisory role. The cabinet is also expected to shuffle from time to time, and it will be Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia who will wheel the way for AAP 2.0. In New Delhi, I'm Sonal Mehrotra, NDTV.
Well, the Aam Aadmi Party has quite frankly promised the moon. The big question now is, will they be able to deliver? This is going to be the biggest challenge for Arvind Kejriwal, delivering on those 70 points. We're going to be looking at that. Professor Yogendra Yadav, Chief Spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, with us. GVL Narasimha Rao, Spokesperson of the BJP. Priyanka Chaturvedi, Spokesperson of the Congress. And the senior editor, Siddharth Varadarajan, will be joining us as well. We're going to come to them in just a few moments, but there's some big news coming in from West Bengal, where there are huge changes within the Trinamool Congress in the state. Mamata Banerjee has chosen to leave Mukul Roy, her right-hand man till recently, out in the cold. Roy was the organization man, the Trinamool's All India General Secretary. Officially, he is still that, but now an additional General Secretary has been appointed. It's a sign of clipped wings. The reorganization announcement came after a party meeting. Now, there were other details as well over here. Monadeepa Banerjee actually joins us for more on this. Monadeepa, we spoke about Mukul Roy, but the other big surprise was Dinesh Trivedi. Now, in the past, he's had a falling out with Mamata Banerjee, but how do you believe things are changing as far as that equation is concerned?
Well, as far as Dinesh Trivedi is concerned, he has been made a vice president of the party, an all India vice president. Now, Dinesh Trivedi was former railway minister who was unceremoniously dismissed by Mamata Banerjee for raising rail fares, if you remember. And recently, Dinesh Trivedi was on stage with Narendra Modi's older brother in Gujarat, praising the Prime Minister, and the signals were that he was ready to leave the Trinamool Congress and join the BJP. So there is a sense of Mamata Banerjee being concerned about cracks appearing in her party and trying to retain or woo Dinesh Trivedi back. But, you know, that might be a difficult job to do, because a big question is, where is Dinesh Trivedi's heart? There are also those in the Trinamool who will tell you that, you know, Dinesh Trivedi has been made a vice president, all right, but there are at least 20 vice presidents in the party. What is most significant is what has happened to Mukul Roy today. Mukul Roy, the, you know, all-powerful All India General Secretary, he now has several other people in the rung as well. There is an additional General Secretary and a new National Secretariat has been formed, which will advise Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee on everything political. And members of that National Secretariat are Derek O'Brien, MP Kakuli Ghosh Dostidar, and Minister in the State Government Firhad Hakim. So that is 4 people who will advise Mamata Banerjee on the goings-on and politics of the party, besides Mukul Roy. Okay. Mukul Roy himself, when we reached him today, first of all must mention that he skipped the party meeting today. When we finally got through to him on the phone, he was out of town. He said that, you know, this is not a clipping of wings. Nobody can give you wings or clip wings.
Right.
He said, however, that what has happened today is a good thing for a party which is growing, and that he wished all the new office bearers the best in taking the party forward.
Well, that's important.
But
Important,
Mukul Roy and
huge
Mamta
changes, in
Banerjee
fact, in the
have been
Trinamool
falling
Congress.
out of late.
Mondeep,
So-
I just need to interrupt you because we really need to move on with our debate. We have very little time today, but thank you so much for joining us with that update. We are discussing Delhi, the process of government formation in Delhi. Professor Yogendra Yadav, let me ask you this first. I was just looking through the portfolios of Manish Sisodia: finance, planning, education, urban development, revenue and vigilance. One man. And Arvind Kejriwal says that he's going to have a supervisory role. How is that going to work?
See, as you know, there is a constitutional limit of the number of ministers you can have in Delhi, which is fixed at 7. So 1 plus 6 is all that you can have. And there are, what, about 25 departments or so. So obviously, one minister handles more. And I think it's a very smart move on the part of Arvind not to burden himself with any 1 or 2 departments. Last time he handled finance. It is actually much better. And I actually expect the Chief Minister Secretariat to be far more active, proactive. Because do remember that for the last 3 or 4 months, a team has been preparing for governance.
Yes.
Because last time in the Lok Sabha election, the feedback we got was this: look, you people may be honest, you're courageous, but do you know how to govern? For the last 4 months, a team has been preparing blueprints, white papers, detailed action plan, and it is that team which now works with Arvind to deliver what we have promised. So I suppose this is actually a much smarter arrangement in which Aam Aadmi Party can actually take charge of the overall agenda.
So he won't be bogged down with any one ministry. He would He would basically decide overall strategy with each and every minister.
Because do remember, Arvind has promised today that he would focus on Delhi and Delhi alone for some time. So he's focusing only on Delhi.
You use the word sometime. You use the word sometime.
Yeah, he said
now,
for the next 5 years.
Because,
and the important thing is, so he's focusing only on Delhi, but not keeping any portfolio with him, which is to say, he plays a far more proactive role in the entire running of the government. And he is the one-person department handling the delivery of promises.
Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, central to the Aam Aadmi Party actually carrying out a lot of their agenda is the issue of statehood for Delhi. This is not an issue which the BJP has necessarily been opposed to. Will the BJP grant this to Delhi?
No, I think if it was something that could be done immediately, I think that would have been a part of our own election promise. This time we did not make that promise because this requires a lot of deliberations, and there are genuine difficulties in granting full statehood, because you look at the capital cities of United States or France or many other countries, even Australia. Capital cities do not enjoy the full statehood.
This is a state which is the size of a country.
Fine.
We are talking about giving it statehood. We're not, I mean, it's as large population-wise as a country.
No, but this is an issue on which discussions can certainly happen. I think Arvind Kejriwal has already broached this subject with the Prime Minister and other ministers. So they will have to, it will require a lot of discussions and deliberations, and this is a constitutional amendment that is required. It's not a simple, so even the BJP does not have a majority, but let all these issues be discussed. It is something that can happen very quickly. I have my own doubts. I'm saying this in my personal capacity because this is a very, very thorny issue.